Hello, 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 hello. How's everybody doing? You are now tuned in to yet another episode of Thick Skin with Jason Tobert. We have a great show lined up for you today, and I'm so excited to unleash this beast of certified life coach, performing artist that I have planned for you all today. Can't wait to get started. Just want to let you know we encourage you to like, comment, share, engage with us so that we can have the greatest reach as we're doing this interview. Today's topic is what are the things that are holding us back? Why are we holding ourselves back? And we have the one and only recording artist and certified life coach, Jermeka Monae, as our special guest on today. And I can't wait to get it started. But before we do that, I do want to talk about just two events that are going on right in the city of Jacksonville. The first one is the Best Boss Gala Awards, or the Best Boss Awards Gala of Jacksonville, Florida. You know, your boy is nominated for 4 different categories: Best Life Coach, Best Nonprofit, Event of the Year, and Best Talk Show. That is going to be amazing. It's always a good time. There's so many entrepreneurs in that one place, and you can feel the energy, you can feel the grit, the blood, sweat, the tears, even the money. And that's always a good time. That's ran by the one and only Miss Adrienne Martin. So we thank her for that. Next up, we have Fedora Friday. That is going down January the 28th at Jazzy's Restaurant. That is 901 King Street, Jacksonville, Florida, 32204. Showtime is from 7:30 to 1:30, and it is featuring the one and only Florida's number one R&B singer, the one and only Mr. A.O. Radio. We're going to have a real good time. Get your fedoras, get your girl, get your friends, and let's have a good old time. All right. So now that all that is out of the way, I am going to bring on our very special guest, the one and only certified life coach. She's a phenomenal recording artist, songwriter, producer, you name it, she can do it. So at this time, please help me welcome the one and only Miss Jermeka Monae is in the building. Hey, how are you, Jermeka?
I am doing just fine. I had to make sure that I wasn't muted because I was still over here dancing to the countdown. Hey,
Well,
everybody.
What'd you say?
I say, hey, everybody.
Yes. So excited to have you on today. You are a phenomenal light I was about to say in Jacksonville, but actually to everybody that you come across, you're an amazing person, an amazing performer, which I know you know that, but I'm just saying that.
Still good to hear. We still need that. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
You know?
She's phenomenal. She's fabulous. She's awesome. And I'm so happy to call her not just a business constituent or a business colleague, but she's actually a friend. She's somebody who I talk to when I'm down. She can't help it. You can call her, and before you know it, she'd be coaching your life, and you'd be like, I ain't even asked you for nothing, but I appreciate it though, because she steered you right in the right direction. So let's get this thing started. So if you see me looking down, I'm working on my computer and 2 different phones, making sure that this is being shared through all platforms. Please do go to YouTube, Jason the Architect, and subscribe to the page because it's going on live right there, right now as well. All righty, so my name is Jason the Architect Tobert, and we're about to get this thing started. Hey, Nita, thanks for tuning in. Jackie, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate everybody for tuning in and always supporting. So this topic today is really a heavy topic, and it's really a needed topic to talk about. Even when I posted it, I was getting comments like, oh my God, this is going to be a dynamic show, and you will be absolutely correct. What is holding you back? Why are you being held back? That's what we're going to be talking about today, and everything that we're going to be talking about, as usual, will always come from a standpoint of family, lifestyle, relationships, and or business. So let's jump into it. Before we even get started, we want to encourage everybody, again, to like, comment, share this video, engage with us, comment with us so that we can acknowledge you in the room. As you're coming in, please say hello so that we can acknowledge your presence in the room. So I'll do it again.
Right.
Nita, thank you. Welcome for thank you and welcome. Jackie, thank you for watching and welcome. We're going to get it started. So, in a nutshell, Jermeka, kind of tell me your story.
Well, of course, I am just that. A lot of people say Duval chick, but born and raised Jacksonville, Florida. Of course, I've been singing for a very long time. And it's good that we're having this conversation because a lot of the things I'm pretty sure a lot of us battle with, not, as artists or, but as individuals.
Right.
I myself, never would tell somebody to do something that I wouldn't do. But of course, we all have those battles of self-doubt, procrastination, a lot of those things. But growing up in Jacksonville, Florida, things are changing nowadays. And not just Jacksonville, but the world itself, looking around, we need more of these talks. We need a lot more of it because the world is raising our kids and more so than we are. The village is not the same, even for adults, So I'm glad to be here. I am a certified life coach. Embrace You.
Shout out to Embrace You.
Shout out to Embrace You, the network, all the coaches. Shout out to Michelle Kennedy, my life coach. Shout out BU. I got her shirt on today. When it happened to me, normally there's some things that you don't have to think about when it comes to you. And it came about where do you want to be a life coach? And I was going through the roughest time in my life. And it was like, you know what? I didn't have to think about it. It was just, yes, made it happen. And it was the turning point, I can honestly say, of my life. Not only did I did it to help other people, but the whole process itself, it helped me. And you never know what sometimes just somebody repeating something back to you, what difference it'll make in hearing them say it, after it came out of your mouth. So I'm just constantly trying to lead by example and constantly just trying to be a better me every day. And at the same time, be me,
Right.
So going forward, I started a business, Divine Potentials Coaching and Development. While I was in school, I started that business and it has been going great. And I don't think that I'll ever stop because it was always me. I was always a life coach before I became a certified life coach.
Exactly.
So, people, they need you just like you need, other people. But for the most part, it helps me to be able to assist somebody else with getting through what they're going through.
So. I got you. So I like myself, like Jermeka, we both actually graduated from the same coaching institute, which is Embrace You by Coach Michelle Kennedy. So shout out to her as well. And when I got started, like you, I was already doing it and kind of didn't know I was doing it until I looked back and said, "Oh my God, I've been doing it." So when I got the call, I was like, okay, let's do it. I was already doing it anyway. Now let's go make some money off of it.
Let's get paid.
Yeah, let's do that. While actually making an impact, a lasting impact. Like you never know what you're going to say that will literally stick with somebody for literally the rest of their lives. Like it will go to the grave with them. And I believe that's what it's all about. That's why you do what you do. That's why I do what I do. And that's why coaches do what they do. And they enjoy it. They love to see the progress of another individual in a certain area, even if that area is just life in general. Right?
In general.
So Jermeka Monae, as you see, she is a certified life coach. And she's also a phenomenal performer, singer, songwriter, producer, all that. She do everything. In my brain, that's what I say when I'm talking about. I say anything you want, she can do. Period. What kind of made you apt to do the show, or what kind of made you want to do the show?
Well, looking at the topic of the show, like why do we hold ourselves back? I can honestly say that I had to sit still and ask myself that a couple of times. Why do we hold ourselves back? And when I sit down and think about it, the way that the questions and the topics are broken down in the show itself today is every single thing that you have to pinpoint as to why I'm not where I want to be or why I feel like I'm not where I want to be. I struggle with that. Some days we might still struggle with that. But if there's any way that we can assist other people with overcoming, the things that we will be talking about today, then hey, count me in. So I was like, hey, I'm down. Not only that, I tell a lot of people, if you're not looking for real, please do not book with me.
Period.
Because
And
you
she
have
ain't
to be
lying,
real.
y'all.
You got to be real with yourself. You have to be real with others. And a lot of people, they just can't take that. I mean, and sometimes I might not be able to take it either, but thank you. To those who are real with me, hurt my feelings sometimes, because I'm pretty sure that I hurt a lot of people's feelings.
If you're not, I'm gonna say hurt somebody's feelings. If you're not making somebody question something, then you're not doing your job as a coach. Period. And I know you know.
I mean, it's all in how they take it. You know what I'm saying? It's all that mental stability, or what I'm saying, the mental maturity, that you choose to have. Because a person can come to you all day, but if my mindset is not like yours, then the way that I look at something might not be like yours.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of hard sometimes to get your point across to other people, because everybody has their own perspective. However, what we're talking about today should all be summed up as everybody should have that perspective on, looking at self-doubt, procrastination, and bettering themselves and wanting to do better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, Tiff, thanks for joining. Tiffany TK over B just
hey,
joined.
Girl.
Hey, girl. So even in the post, I named a couple of things that hold people back. And before I start to reveal some of those things on my own, I want to ask you, in your line of work, what would you say are the biggest things or the most things that you hear that causes someone to hold themselves back? It's one thing to be in jail because you put me there, but it's a whole other situation when I'm in jail because I put myself there.
Right. I mean, when you're sitting down and thinking about, what can possibly hold you back, it's always going to be the first thing is you. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we have those situations that happen in life, and we have those things where it's just like, dang, I ran into a snag. But what about those times when you're just constantly going through and going through and going through? Yeah. A lot of the times when you're constantly knocked down, that leads to a lot of, I can't do this. Yeah. I just can't, and I try to tell people all the time, for whatever can't, let's just try to make a can. You know what I'm saying? If you do everything that you can to prevent something from happening, or from at least trying not to hold yourself back, but a lot of people, they get used to excuses. Well, such and such did this, so I couldn't do that. Such and such did that, so I couldn't do this. But I had to learn, even myself, that certain situations you can't control, but there's a way for you to climb out of it. It just might not be what you want to do.
Yeah. So you actually hit a couple of the things that I wrote down for myself. So you said because of something happened in the past, so now they're doubting themselves. So self-doubt is a huge factor in the process of holding yourself back. And then you mentioned something about kind of comparing yourselves to others. And that's huge. That's so big. If we can, let's pause and talk about comparing ourselves to others, because on one token, you're like, you got to have a goal. You got to have a mentor. You got to have something to look up to. You got to have something to aspire to be, right? So you got that on one end that you're trying to always make sure you're getting closer and closer to. But then you've got people who you see doing it. They're, in your mind, doing it better. Seem like it's progressing faster. Am I saying what I need to be saying? Are the people really getting from me what I want them to be getting from, all those type of things you have to ask yourself. So about the comparing yourselves to others, can you talk about that a little bit, and why that could hold somebody back, and then why you shouldn't do it?
Well, honey, when you compare yourself to other people, it's definitely going to have to be a major question for the self-esteem. For one, what am I comparing? You know what I'm saying? If I want to be as small as this person, I can go walk on the treadmill.
Exactly.
If I want to be as smart as this person, I can pick up a book. If I want to be, but let's take this deeper, okay? When
Okay.
it comes to comparing yourself to others, a lot of people, instead of actually comparing, they go to it turns into a hate almost. Instead of you putting yourself in a place where you can be around those like-minded people, or the people that are doing what you would like to do or going where you want to go, there's still things that comparing yourself to that person, it still don't add up sometimes, because we're sitting around here comparing and comparing and comparing. But when you look at the yoke of it and you
Mm-hmm.
sit back and not look at pictures and not look at Facebook and sit down and look at real life, I promise you that it is not all that it seems. They go through the same thing that you go
Yeah.
through. So I found myself having to kind of sometimes stay away from Facebook, sometimes stay
Yeah.
away from certain things, because that is what you got to do, whatever you can to keep your spirit where it needs to be.
Right.
You know, but when it comes to comparing yourself to others, that then turns into like a self, now you
Yes.
self-criticizing, and
Yes.
why can't I do that? That's a good question. You can. It's just you got to find what's best for you to
Right.
do it. Why you shouldn't compare yourself to others, especially if you're in that stage of, doubting yourself. No, that is definitely not the right thing to do. If you're going to compare yourself for a good reason, then yes, I want to be able to do that. Let me call Jay and find out how he did that. Let me
Right.
call, let me find out how, but then it all starts with you. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you can compare yourself all day. What changes are you gonna make? What motivation are you gonna give yourself to like get up and go? Because it still starts with you. It starts with you to even pick up the phone to call somebody, to get that conversation started, to even find out what's next. What do I do next? It takes you to go and get the help that you need. It takes you.
It
So
is.
you gotta definitely have at least enough, you know, um, enough esteem about yourself to know that I want better. This is not where I want to be. And I'm not going to pay attention to what everybody else got going on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going to look at the things that I see, because at the end of the day, honey, they could have drove past the Hollywood sign just to take a picture and turn right back around and go right back home.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what got that person there or what they're doing to get where they going. That might be something that you don't want to do.
So even in addition to that, so everybody has their own journey, right?
Everybody.
Literally, even in you think of it as in the aspect of a race, right? Let's say me and Jermeka, we about to race. We both started off at the finish line, right? We
Mm-hmm.
both were like, we both about to win.
Mm-hmm.
But when we go, maybe you trip over the first cement block. I don't know, and I get to keep going. But then as I'm going, maybe your car comes and I have to slow down and you catch up. So everybody has their own story in this whole grand scheme of this race. And you gotta give yourself time to go through your journey, your race,
Got to.
your whatever, because what you don't want to do is get to wherever you're going and not be able to sustain because you haven't been through enough to keep you where you just got to.
Because you wanted to rush to get there by comparing yourself to other people,
Exactly.
and you don't know what they went through to get where they got, and you don't know what they did to get where they at, honey.
Yes.
I'm not willing. I might not be willing to do that. Okay, I might not be willing to do that,
And you don't know that because you're so busy focused on what
worry
you
about
either
everybody else.
see or don't see.
Mm-hmm.
So that is your focus and not the race itself.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Faith.
and
alone is gonna be-
another aspect of it is giving yourself the grace to go through it. Every I see so many people do this. I know a lot of people, and my hands is in a lot of things. So I hear people a lot. Right now, Jermeka can say something to me or not come through for me or miss a deadline or be late or whatever. And she'll show up and I'm like, oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's all right. We can do this. We're still going to get it going. Come on, let's go. But when it comes to us, we don't say, you know what, it's all right, Jay. You just was a little late. You know, you just didn't hit it on the head all the way. You might not have to say all the right words this one time. It's okay. Come on, let's go. We're still about to get this. So we give it to everybody else and forget to give it to ourselves.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's real tough.
And I had to learn that. I really did have to learn that I deserve every ounce of grace that I give to every single person that I ever come across. As a matter of fact, I deserve more grace than everybody I come across because I got to handle me with a different type of love, with a different type of respect than I do with anybody else. Because if this ain't okay for nobody.
I can't help you if I can't. If I'm not okay, I can't help you. If I'm not okay, I can't do the things that I can for the people that I'm supposed to assist. And in most cases, we're talking about okay to a certain extent, because when I'm not okay, my job still goes on. People
Right.
still call me. People still do certain things. And I started driving. I decided to do Uber one day, and I was driving. And this day, everybody that sat in my back seat was a testimony. But one young girl grasped me, and she was huffing and puffing. I told her, I said, listen, one day at a time. I don't know why I told her that. I don't know what baby had going on. But she said, I don't know why I'm telling you this, but I was on the bridge last night and I wanted to jump. And I had to like pull over real quick because it was like, hold up, wait. Like what you're
Right.
saying to me is that you didn't feel like you were good enough to be here.
To anybody. Right.
So when you hear certain things like that, that's all you need sometimes. Somebody in this world can be going through something 10 times worse than you. And you around here, doubting yourself when you ain't been through half of sometimes
Right.
we have to see that. And when I became a life coach, we sometimes when you listen to people, you're gonna say, do you hear yourself talking?
Right. Right.
But
Right.
at the end of the day, I learned to look at people through the eyes of our creator. And I had to learn how to do that myself as well. Step outside of me and look at me the way other people look at me sometimes. Because at the end of the day, I can be too hard on myself.
Yeah.
I can
Because
be
we
too
are
hard.
all
And
those
then
things.
when I don't do what I held that certain standard that I held myself up to, then I'm disappointed with me. Then that leads to everything we're talking about today. So
Right.
it depends on how you take it. It's that mindset. It's how you take it and how you go run with it. Are you go fix it, or you go sit there and you go dwell in your mess?
Exactly. And you absolutely have the power to control it all if you ever tap into yourself enough. I
You
mean,
are enough.
yourself. I ain't talking about this self that you present to people or your
Please.
representative. I'm talking about that person that you see in the mirror with no clothes on, that person that you know your upcoming, you know your shortcomings, you know your ups, your downs, you more than better than anybody. And
Right.
you got to be able to have that real conversation with yourself before you're even able to attempt to stop kind of comparing yourselves to others. A
Figure it out.
practice that somebody, one of my friends, probably about maybe 2 years ago, she said to me, she said, I don't ask nobody, what's up? I don't say that anymore. Or I don't say, how are you? I actually use the words, how are you feeling? There's a difference.
There's a
This
difference.
what up? Or, how are you feeling? It's an entirely completely different question. And I started to do that, and you'd be surprised at your answers because we as humans, we're moving so quickly, day-to-day chores, that we so quick to say, oh, how you feeling? And then walk straight away because we expect them to say good. Like, as you're saying it, you're still walking because you know they're about to say good.
Right.
Start asking that question and start paying attention to your response. Because
Right.
if you're not ready, they're going to start really telling you, I'm so happy that somebody throughout this whole day, you're the first one to ask me how I'm feeling. Thank you. So let me tell you how I'm feeling.
Right. Because you never know how somebody else is doing. You never know
Exactly.
what somebody got going on. And on top of that, if you're having a bad day and you ask somebody how they feeling, they just might be able to rub that right on up on you. And
Yeah.
you might be able to go on and have a good day just based off of the answer that you got from somebody else. Just piggybacking off of, what you basically just said, it's very deep. Because if you don't know yourself, then you don't know the limits that you can go. If you don't know who you are, then you don't know what you're capable of. If you don't write down what you're doing and show yourself that you can do it on an everyday basis in your journal or in your planner or wherever you're going to put it, and you don't prove to yourself that I did this, or I wrote this to-do list and I got this done, you're
Exactly.
not doing nothing to prove nothing to yourself, then you're not going to feel the way that you want to feel because you're not proving to yourself. You ain't
Yes.
doing nothing.
Yes. I want to take a moment to acknowledge a couple of people. Hey, Coach Nikki, she's on the line. Mike
Hey,
Barbie, she's on the line. Hey, Andre, all the way
hey,
from
like,
Detroit, he's on the line. We thank you all for tuning in.
hey, y'all.
But you're absolutely correct in what you're saying. And another point that I want to point out that you just brought up is, who are you connected with? Are these people telling you, hey, baby, you can do this? Are they looking at you in your mess and still saying, despite what I see, in spite of what I see, I know that you can still do this because I know the you that's inside of you, even when you don't know the you that's inside of you, or you
Yeah,
forgot that that's the you that's inside of you.
real.
It's very important to keep yourself surrounded by somebody who's going to lift you up, hold you up, pull you up, love you up, whatever, like to get you to where they know you can be. And you also said something too, and I didn't think of it in this way until you just said it. Let's say you're self-doubting, and you, in your mind, you got this great feat, this great thing that needs to be done, or you're not where you should be according to yourself, and all that kind of stuff. I like what you just said. Make a list of little things. And then when you go back to the little thing list and see all those things checked off, that should do
So make
something
you feel
inside of you
good.
that says, you know what? I
It
might
makes you
just be
feel
able to
good.
do this.
I tell my clients to do the same thing. That's the
Yeah,
first thing I say. Like, my initial sessions are free. So, and that's because I want to see if I can accept, if I want to accept that person as a client. Because if you're not ready to be real with yourself and find out what it is that's keeping you from what you got going on, then, then you're not ready. You're still not ready.
yeah,
So I always tell people, get you something to write on, whether it be a board, a piece of paper, a planner, a something. If I write this list of things down to do today, and I go back and look at that tomorrow, or it's time for me to write my list the next day, and I look at all this stuff I did not do, what was I doing
right,
that I couldn't get this stuff done? Now you're more upset with yourself, not self-doubting, but you're
right.
upset to yourself. And sometimes we have to have those things physically in front of us. Like, yeah, we know what we need to do, but we're not computers. You know what I'm saying? You're not
Right.
going to remember all of that and how much it means until you write it down, because you took the time to do that. Now, what was I doing that I could not get this done? So now I'm going to be conscious of that. I'm going to be more conscious, like, dang, I didn't even think I could do it. Even if you put that, you know what I'm saying, down for something that you wanted to complete and you didn't complete it, but you completed the most of it, you're still going to feel good. And I tell a lot of people that all the time, like, what are you doing to prove to yourself
Yes.
that you can do what it is that you're putting your mind to? Or are you just telling yourself that you can't do it?
Yes.
That's the problem.
Yes. And I love, those of you who know me, I love when I come to somebody who needs an extra push or needs an extra boost or needs to see themselves in a certain space to give them the courage to push themselves further into that space. I will pull you and put you on the stage. I will push you in the water. I mean, just so that you can see yourself swim and be like, hey, I
Right.
didn't even know I could do this.
Right.
But because I did this, I probably can go another mile. I probably can take a couple more steps. I probably can make it a couple more days, a couple more weeks,
Right.
months, years, whatever.
And that's probably something that you never thought you could do. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Until somebody said, why can't you do it? And I'm a prime example. You've called me plenty of times, said, listen, I ain't saying that this is something that you need to do, but I would
Right.
like for you to do it. And I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna do it just because you said so. What is it? And
Yep.
then when you give it to me, it's like, oh shoot,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it. I got this. Get off
Yeah.
the phone with you, like, ooh, all
Yeah.
right. Let me
Now
get
you
myself
motivated
together.
and
Let
yeah.
me get myself together.
Yeah.
Let me get myself together.
You
But
just
you
you
need
just
those people.
you just reminded me of the show that we did in Orlando.
Yep.
I was like, hey, we about to go do a show. I need Jacksonville's best singer, so you already know why I'm on your phone. I need you with me. She said, cool, what song should I do? Or I don't even know if you asked me what song should you do. I just gave you the song.
Yeah.
I was like, please do, because I heard her do Fantasia. That's like my favorite song to
Yeah.
hear from her, period. Every time she's on the stage, I'm like, can you? She'd be like, look, boy, I can't do it every time. And then she's like, well, what other song do you think? I said, well, what about Kelly Price?
Ooh. And that was a challenge.
Fire.
That was a
And I
challenge.
know. But when you got there, like you were like, even in the conversation, you were like, oh my God, I never thought to do that. Okay, let me see. Let me go check it out. Oh, I like it already.
The second I heard it, I liked the song. Now, was it a challenge for me to learn? Yes, it was. Everything, anytime Okay, you can sing. Let's just use that as an example. I know I can sing. Okay. And a lot of people say sing and not sing, but there's still things that I know that I want to work on. So when we have these different shows and it's like we need this type of music or we need that type of music, and now it's time to pick the next song or perform the next song, especially if it's something I've never done before, I can easily doubt myself.
Right.
And when I doubt myself, that can easily lead to me procrastinating on learning what I need to learn because I'm already saying, dang, I don't know if I can do that. You know what I'm saying?
Even before you even try. Yeah.
I'm putting it off. Now you're putting it off. Now you're putting it off.
Procrastination.
And music is actually one thing that taught me to keep pushing, not just the lyrics in it, but having to learn these songs, being, a part of a band and having to learn a set, like it's nerve-wracking. And it depends on your mindset and how you, how great do you want to be, baby? How bad do you want it?
Absolutely.
How bad do you want it?
Look, they are responding in these comments. Black Barbie says, so true. She also said, yes.
Yes.
So you brought up another point. Now you're taking more time to complete it. So now you're talking about procrastination, which is another thing that I wrote down.
Oh, it's the devil.
It is. But you have the power to conquer everything. You were born with everything inside of you that you needed to conquer every single battle that was scheduled to be put in front of you for the life of your whole lifetime.
You got that right.
But it's up to me to know that. It's up to me to feel that. It's up to me to put myself around people that's going to pour back into me and speak those words right back into me as soon as I start doubting myself, because it happens all day long. So again, we're talking about family, lifestyle, relationships, and business. And even with business, let's talk about business a little bit. Look,
it's not easy.
Comparing yourselves to others definitely happens every single day. Procrastination happens every single day. Not giving yourself grace happens every single day. You be on cloud nine literally right now, this very minute, and get one phone call and you question your whole life's existence.
Right.
2 seconds later.
For real. Yeah. But the crazy thing about it is when we're talking about procrastination, whether it's family, whether it's business, whether it's, relationship, procrastination is procrastination. And the one thing that I notice leads to procrastination is a lot of people, we'll say, I'm saying, I'm waiting on the motivation, or this gives me motivation, or that gives me motivation. And I was asked a question, and it was, what motivates you? And the first thing that came out of my mouth was me. And the individual that asked it, she was a little confused, but I had to break it down and I had to explain it to her that it takes you. You can have all these people, all these sources to plug into, but just like I said earlier, if you aren't giving yourself that push to even turn on YouTube to listen to a motivational speech, it starts with you. You know what I'm saying? I still have to open up my ears to not just hear what somebody is saying when they're trying to get me out of that rut. I want to be able to listen to it and take what they're giving me and apply it to the next thing I do. And a lot of people, they don't do that. Sometimes we want stuff to fall in our lap, but it's not going to fall in our lap. But listen, one step, just one. Sometimes it just takes that one step. And then you realize that it wasn't as hard as it was. But waiting on motivation is going to be the number one cause of procrastination. What are you waiting for? And I tell myself that a lot. Stop
looking at the end and worry about the step right now.
Yeah.
Because as long as you worry about the step right now, as long as you keep moving, you're gonna get to the end. You fixated on the wrong thing. I know they say keep your mind on the goal, stay focused on the goal. And
now we worrying about that and we ain't even started yet.
Right. So just take one step, and then one step after that. Next thing you know, if you keep taking one step, you will at some point get to the finish line.
At some point. And then if you're taking them steps with nothing but faith, baby, there's no way that you can lose anyway.
Period. Because God honors your faith. He looks at that and he'll
meet you more than halfway.
Yeah, he will. All he wants, you're going to have to work for it. Like you said, it's not going to fall in your lap. You're going to have to work for it. And I know we're saying it as if it's nothing. So don't get it misconstrued because we're just saying it like it's nothing. But I know depression is real, baby. Anxiety is real. All that stuff is very real. And we can say what we say right now, but when that depression hits you out of nowhere, because the 9 times out of 10, when you're depressed and you have anxiety, when you notice it, you're already in it. You almost don't see it coming. You just wake up in it almost.
That word is in such bold letters nowadays from when I was younger that I mean, I know that some people, they have, when we're talking about depression and anxiety, I'd like to look at it as depression and anxiety stemming from when your body, your mind, and your soul is not connected and balanced.
A lot, yeah.
Because that goes back to writing down what you need to do, write down your goals, writing down what you want to do, and speaking as if you already have it. Because, you know, at the end of the day, if my mind wants to do something, but I know that I'm supposed to be doing this, you know, like, I'm not a computer. You get what I'm saying? And I keep saying that because it's like, when your body, mind, and your soul ain't connected, baby, you're going to be all over the place. That's going to lead to depression because you feel like you ain't doing something right. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, I didn't know what depression and anxiety was until I got, like, you know, up into my late teens to my 20s. And I thank God for that. It sounds crazy, but if I didn't know what it was in the first place, then it made it a lot easier to beat it, until I had a friend that was telling me about how they felt when they were going through depression, or when they had to take and get, you know, admitted and all this other stuff. And I'm like, well, how did you feel? And come to find out, I felt that same way a long time ago. Dang, I just didn't know what to call it. I didn't know what it was. Thank you, Lord. I didn't know what it was, but I'm glad that I now know what it is. Yeah. And that's just like the procrastination we're talking about, the self-doubt that we're talking about. If you've been here before, then you can do it again. Period. And it's just that simple. I've been here before. It might not be the same situation, but I felt this way before. Right. What did I do to fix this the last time I felt this way? Right. What did I do? What made me feel better? You got to find your peace. You got to learn how to keep your spirit strong. You got to learn how to not necessarily, now self-doubt can be a good thing if you can first acknowledge that, okay, I'm doubting myself on this. Right. But what can I do to fix it? That way I won't feel so bad about me not being able to do it, or me wanting to do better. It's just how you look at it, you know?
I love it, because even if you're watching right now, I'm going to suggest that you get the worst situation that you have ever been in. Think about that right now. Think about it. Think about how long ago that was. Think about how you felt. Think about how you were like, ain't no way in the world I'm gonna get out of this one. And look at you. You out here thriving, going on, walking and talking as if that never even happened. So I'm gonna encourage you to know that if you made it out of the other thing that you couldn't make it out of, like with no way, you absolutely can do it, because you did it before.
You did it before. You got out of it. Something that you probably thought that you never would be able to, you know, withhold. A lot of people say, what's the worst that can happen? And I just say that the worst that can happen is something that you already didn't expect to happen. You know what I'm saying? I didn't expect that to happen. That's the worst that to happen. I thought it was going to go good. Right. But
you just get up, dust stuff off, and go again.
Pick up the pieces and keep
pick up the pieces. Yes, absolutely.
Your plan is never, sometimes our plans are just never set in stone. We want them to be. Right. But it's going to be something. You know, the GPS ain't tell us we were going to run into a pothole and all 4 tires, but it told us how we going to get where we going.
Right. Exactly. That's a good analogy. I see you guys popping in and out. When you guys please say hello. Let us know that you are here so that we can acknowledge your presence in the room. I want to move on to 2 other things, because we already have been going for 40 minutes, believe it or not. Ooh, that's crazy, right? But I got 2 more things that I've written down that I really do want to talk about. And it's the first thing is, I'm waiting on the perfect time. Mm-hmm. We're gonna pause that right there, and then the last thing that I want to touch on after that is this imposter syndrome. Because it's so real. Look, I saw the look on your face. You said, "Stop talking about me. Get out my business." I heard you. So let's talk about waiting on the perfect time.
What's that? What's the perfect time? Who told you? Who told you when the perfect time was?
Exactly.
Sometimes I can give you a situation, and I wish I could, but we'll talk about that from off of here. But there is sometimes waiting on the perfect time is just going to bring more problems. And but sometimes waiting on the perfect time is also going to sit there, and that's why everybody passing you by, because you're waiting on the perfect time. Like,
Exactly.
we can always be doing something.
Right.
What's the perfect time to start this business?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did anybody tell you that it was best to do it at a certain part of the year?
Right.
Like what's the perfect time for what? If you're waiting on the perfect time to do something, then you're never going to do it. We already know in this day and time and age that the most constant thing in life is going to be changed. Just like you said, somebody can call you and make you just, hey, you be sitting around here looking crazy, like, was everything that I have lived my whole life the truth or a lie?
Right.
Because
Right.
you know what I'm saying? But there is no perfect time. I mean, now, theoretically speaking, if we're talking about time, yes, maybe there is a perfect time for you to go to lunch, but
Right.
there is no perfect time to do the things that it is that you want to do. Besides, now we can
Right.
always be doing something, whether it's reading a book or whether it's trying to find out what we need to do what we need to do. Does that make sense?
Yes. The
Okay.
example or analogy that I like to use when we're talking about waiting on the perfect time is if you asked probably all the mothers, all the fathers in the world that
Yeah.
said, did you have your baby at the perfect time? Even the people that said, you know what, let me get my career together, I'm going to get my house, I'm going to get my car. Even though that was the perfect time, if you ask them now, they would still tell you that they ran into every problem that they would have run into, whether they had the baby today or 3 years ago or 3 years from now,
You're
because there
doing it.
is no perfect time.
Yeah. And no
Um,
situation is gonna just go like, without any problems, without, a headache, without the anxiety,
no,
without, you can't tell me that. Once again, I sang, and every day, every time, every performance, when I get there, I'm nervous as heck.
no, really?
I'm walking up there with butterflies. Do you understand me? I have butterflies, and I've realized that no matter how good you are, how great you feel like you are, that's just something sometimes that until you get into that zone where you used to be in at and
Uh-huh.
make it comfortable for you, do what works for you, but don't not do it.
And there should be a level of nervousness included in any decision. If there is no level of nervousness, then I can guarantee you think you about to go do whatever this is on your own.
Really, for
That
real.
you only get nervous when you know that it's more than just you.
Right. And then at that time, we're still at that moment thinking about, well, how will, the people view me? How would,
Yeah.
the people like me? That's another thing. Don't worry about that,
So
because some people feel like that, that initiates when they're supposed to do what they want to do. Listen, be you, do what you want to do. As long as you ain't out here killing nobody and all that other stuff and it betters you,
right.
then go for it. I don't see any problem with that. If you're not taking away from anybody else, if there's going to be haters that's going to hate on you, let them. They're probably still over there with low self-esteem, procrastinating. And hey, we see a lot of stuff going on, but I still congratulate a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, some things I probably don't have the best to say about them, but it's the fact that you did it. You know what I'm saying? It's the
That's
fact
the accomplishment there within itself.
within itself. Fix the
Yeah.
rest later. Just start somewhere.
Yeah. And then you mentioned what the people are gonna say about me, what they gonna think about me. So let's jump
You
on
know how
over
many
to
people in
this.
this world?
Yes. Yes.
How many of these people? How many of these people like the stupid stuff we hear on the radio nowadays? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you saying? It's not stupid enough. What are you saying? Everybody is not gonna like you.
And it's
Everybody,
okay.
they're
And
not
the thing
gonna
of
understand you.
you can do everything correct and the people ain't gonna like you. And you can do everything incorrect and they still ain't gonna like you. So you
That's
might
what
as
it
well
is.
just do it how you feel it. Because
What
if
it
they
is.
ain't gonna like you, they ain't gonna like you. Ain't got nothing to do. They ain't gonna like you because they don't want to like you.
But that's a lot that's a lot that leads that's a lot that leads to self-doubt as well. While we're, just sitting here talking about it's deep. It runs very deep.
Very
And
deep.
sometimes it can be from that mentality of needing that reassurance from people, or from the people that are usually around you, from your parents, because they gave you reassurance all your life and never gave you a chance to really see it for yourself, or congratulating you and rewarding you all the time. And now you've grown and don't know which way to go because you've been this cradled, person who got a gold medal for just making a bowl of cereal. Whatever the case may be, a lot of things, they stem from things that we've been through in the past, whether it's bad experiences, whether it's being knocked down before and afraid to do it again. But we can't keep doing the same thing and think that we're going to get different results. It doesn't work like that. So you just got to figure out, what am I going to do differently next time so that this does not happen? And as long as you keep going, you ain't gave up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This imposter syndrome, for those of you who don't know what the imposter syndrome is, I'm going to try to explain it to you in regular words so that you can really get a grasp on it, because I didn't even know I had it when I had it. And actually, Coach Michelle is the one who introduced that whole concept to me and made me go read up on it. I was like, oh my God, that's just what I got. Right. So the imposter syndrome is this thing inside of you, and it can come from many different places in your life. Growing up, any experience in your life can do this. But imposter syndrome says, okay, I'll use it for an example. I'm out here, I'm saying I'm the best host ever. I do all these events and I'm just the best. But the whole time I'm doing it, I'm selling out the seats. The people are loving it. I'm getting so many great reviews. They're posting and loving everything that I'm doing. But in my mind, I'm telling myself, now you ain't adding up to what you say you're adding up to. You're not doing
but you're doing it.
Right. So within my head, that's the imposter syndrome.
That's that mindset that's that mindset that we've been hitting on, since we started. It's, it's crazy, because I have a lot of friends like that. Like, I have some of the, thank you, God, I have some of the most amazing friends, some of the most amazing followers, some people that are extremely talented and still can't see how talented they are from the things that they do. And you're in magazines, you on TV, you doing this, you doing that. And for some reason, something inside of you still says, I'm not good enough. How? You're getting it done. It's getting done.
Yeah. It's like and I use this example, and not that men doesn't go through, but I think you see it. I think you see it more with women. I don't mean to be sexist or anything. Barbie said, "Oh yes, Jason." So, you see a girl, and you see this girl. She is like mind-blowingly just beautiful, just dope. Just she walked in the room, and it seemed like everybody turned their head to look and see this authoritative, this attention-grabbing, drawing, beautiful woman. But she walks in like this because she don't think that she's that beautiful. She doesn't. She knows she's beautiful, but somewhere down the line, somebody, somewhere, some situation, somewhere made her doubt everything that she is. But everybody else can see it except her. That is a classic example of imposter syndrome.
And I think that's what I meant earlier, not to cut you off, about being able to step outside of yourself and see yourself for the way
others,
other people see you. And that is very, very hard sometimes. It's not, as easy to be able to look at yourself, the way that other people look at you, because they don't have to be inside that body. That goes back to, seeing what really ain't it. People take pictures, people do, all kind of stuff, and they make it look good. But standing behind the camera, they ain't had no shoes on.
Right.
Standing behind the camera, they had no bottoms on, and that was their homegirl Gucci shirt that they had on.
Right.
Or, you know what I'm saying, the wig that they had on, they borrowed from somebody, and, that just made them feel just enough. But why can't we do that? The people who are holding on to something that they feel like they can't necessarily let go, why can't we do that? Why I can't put my homegirl clothes on, live my best life? It's a mindset. It's the way that people look at it. They was okay with doing that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's that mindset, the way that you look at things, the way that you look at yourself, the way that you do things, and the people that you are around is everything.
Everything. It's everything. When Coach Michelle brought the concept up to me and I noticed that it was happening to me, first thing I said to myself was, number one, how did I get here? Like, I know I'm super dope. and I'm about to sound so cliche, but I'm so serious. I know I'm wonderfully crafted. I'm made in the best image possible. So there's no way that I can be a screw up. There's no way. There's no way because he doesn't make anything by mistake. So
Yeah.
because of that one reason, I know that I'm phenomenal. But is that one thing that was like, so when I asked myself, why do you feel that way? I started to have to go to my past, even down to my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I didn't think I could speak correctly because when I was in the second grade and I would teach, when I would talk, my family would say, "Ha ha ha, you're stuttering. Ha
Mm-hmm.
ha ha, you missed the word. That's not how you pronounce that word. Did you even study before you started?" So all those things now that I'm a grown man that I didn't even know played a part into my adult life is now
Mm-hmm.
showing up in my adult life,
Mm-hmm.
and
That's
I
the way that
can't get
works.
past. It's like at some point it's a brick wall. No matter what I do, I cannot get past it until I address it.
Mm-hmm. And that's good that you say that because we not gonna get over a lot of stuff until we figure out what makes us feel that way in the first place. What
Yes.
makes me, and a lot of people they say, Jermeka, you're just so outspoken. You don't care about, nobody. You don't care about, people's feelings. You don't have no filter. Really, I do, honestly, because I
Mm-hmm.
talk a lot and I'm extremely outspoken. But there's still a lot that I still, you know what I'm saying, don't say. I talk a lot. I listen more. I hear more. I pay more attention than anything. But at the end of the day, it's like you can't hold back the way that you feel. Some people don't know how to express themselves.
Right.
Some people don't know how to tell somebody that they hurt their feelings, or some people they've just been taught from a long time ago to just shut up, suck it up, and keep it moving.
Mm-hmm.
But those things can't stay inside. So now when we get grown, we get older, there's some things that we've buried, and then you go to being a little not as authentic as you can be,
Mm-hmm.
because now you're creating this persona of a person that you feel like you want to be, exiting out all those things that make you who you are because of one thing or one person that made you feel less than a while ago. So I'm just gonna be
Wow.
this person. And you
Wow.
wonder why you struggling and you climbing up this ladder and the ladder keep falling because that's not who you are.
Yeah.
That is not who you are.
Yeah.
Let's stop faking and be our real selves and just fix it. You know what I'm saying? You can't fix
Wow.
the situation by making yourself a whole new person.
Yeah.
You're going to have to go back
Yeah.
and make yourself that person that you know that you can be,
Wow.
versus I'm going to change my hair color. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and this is what's going to make me better. I'm going to start. You got people out here that don't even talk the same way that they
Right.
talk because they
Right.
are making
Yeah.
this unauthentic, version of
Yes.
themselves, and you wonder why you're still
Yes.
struggling to you're scurrying along, but you're not getting too far. You're going nowhere fast because that's not you.
So the imposter syndrome, based off of what you're saying, and it makes total sense the way how you're explaining it, having the imposter syndrome will literally make you an imposter because you're going to do everything you can do to fight against these thoughts that you have about yourself. Hence why, and I'm going to use me for example, hence why I'm out there and can't say, hey, I'm a gay man. Hence why I'm out there and can't own and accept everything about me.
Because that question, what are they going to think about me? What is this? What is that? Man, please. Once
Yep.
it's amazing how when you live in your truth, you just become this person that you never thought that you could be. Because now
Yes.
I can walk with my head high, and I
Yes.
can walk with, without being embarrassed or without feeling what somebody's saying about me behind my back is going to hurt my feelings. Who cares? Who cares?
Yes.
As long as you're happy, that's all that matters.
And it really is like, you know how people, when they say, oh my God, have you ever seen a flower bloom? It's so pretty. It's so beautiful. The concept of it even blossoming is amazing. But it's literally just like that with ourselves.
Really?
As we come out of the imposter syndrome and become more authentic and more genuine, and I'll speak for myself now that I'm talking. And you know what I'm saying? They talk your ish. Look, I've been out here talking my ish now.
Mhm.
And with every word that comes out of my mouth, I open up a little bit more, just like a blossom. And I see the beauty. I literally, with my eyeballs, see the beauty in this flower that's opening up that is me, that now can shine bright and not be wilted over like they saying straight. You know, you see the
For
flowers,
real.
and sometimes they have a really long stalk. Some of them be leaning all over, but some are
Yeah.
like strong and they there and they blossom be like so big.
Mhm.
That's literally what will happen when you decide to own you, own your truth, and live and walk in it, regardless to
Yeah.
anybody, unapologetic about
Mm-hmm.
it.
Unapologetically you. And one thing that I always pay attention to, and I kind of compare things with, is the lotus flower or that
Yeah,
sunflower, like the bloom that you're talking about. They are so miraculous to me, where a sunflower follows the sun, baby, and that's what
yeah.
keeps them alive. Or that lotus flower that only blooms in the
In
mud
the
and
mud,
then
right?
floats to the top, just as beautiful as it can be. That's just the same way. We go wash this dirt off,
Right,
okay? And I
right,
want you to plant me in a nice, beautiful
right.
pot and water me every day. We have to water ourselves. And just like we were talking about earlier, you have to have those people who are going to water you as well.
Yes,
You can plug into, and gain the energy, you know what I'm saying? The energy is everything that people bring to you, that positivity, all of that. Just
yes,
knowing who you are is
yep,
where you want to start. No matter if you got to go back to being a 3-year-old again and
yep,
remembering what made me feel the way that I feel and how the heck did I get here, even if you're
yes,
50 years old. Because, and the last thing that I'm going to say is, I like to tell a lot of people also, we still, a lot of this stuff stem from what people have done to us, the things that have happened in our lives.
yep,
Today, in today's society, people have to understand that although you were done wrong at a younger age, somebody might have, and horrible things have happened to people, but there has to be a time where we grow up
yeah,
and we realize that our happiness is our choice. I have to find a way to fix. Yeah, it sucks what somebody messed up with me. I have to find a way to become a stronger person because this person broke me.
yeah,
But we got to do that eventually, because they're not going to always, we can't expect those people to come back and try to fix what has
right,
been broken. We
right,
have to be the ones to do
right.
that. So it starts with
Absolutely.
you.
Look, Bobby said, and that's when depression and anxiety starts, when you're
Mm-hmm.
not able to do that. And you're absolutely right, Black Barbie. Thanks for joining us and tuning
Yeah.
in and chiming in and engaging with us as well. But you're absolutely right. We are at an hour pretty much already.
Dang.
Crazy, right?
Already?
Already. So I want to give you time before we go into how they can find you. Before we even get there, I want to ask you, as the expert certified life coach, what advice, if you have just some advice to give to anybody that's holding, I know we've been doing it throughout the whole thing, but kind of
Right.
sum it up. Give some advice to somebody before we leave, how to, I can't say not hold themselves back, but how to fight against it.
Um, the only way to really fight against this is to actually acknowledge, of course, and realize what it is that's holding you back first. You know what I'm saying? You can't get upset about, being held back if you don't look at the reasons for it. And then trying to find a way to fix it without making yourself or feeling so bad for yourself that you can't move forward. Some people, they can't climb out of that.
Right,
And the only way to climb out of it is to continue to set those small goals for yourself, even if it's, baby, I'm going to take the trash out today.
right,
Okay. Setting those goals for yourself, small to-do lists, small things that you can do to prove that you are the person who you felt like you couldn't be.
yeah,
You just have to find ways. You have to prove it to yourself before we
yes,
can think that we go prove it to anybody else.
yes.
So
That's good. So acknowledge it.
yeah,
Go back to whatever that place was that hurt
don't
you.
run away from it though, because we run away from it,
Right.
then we start being fake.
Yep. And you got to be real with yourself when you are dealing with it. If you're not, then you're not going to be totally, you're going to heal yourself from a half diagnosis. Like you're going to heal yourself from was not even the root cause if you don't,
Right.
really take that real good look in the mirror.
Mhm.
So again, I so thank you for joining us on today.
No
If we had time, I
problem.
was going to tell you to hit a little note or something, but I know singers be like, stop doing that to me. But I don't want the people to hear you. But we ran out of time, so you better be lucky this time. So before we get out of here, thank you again, Jermeka,
You're
Coach
welcome.
Jermeka, performing artist, producer, songwriter, all of it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for all of our watchers, our followers, our tuner
Thank
inners,
you guys.
our engagers. We thank you. As always, we'll see you here this same place, same time next week, 1 o'clock on Tuesday. And before we get out of here, Jermeka, can you tell them how to find you, where they can get in contact with you, and all that kind of good stuff?
Yes. I'm, as far as Divine Potentials goes, I have a Divine Potentials page on Facebook, or you can just always hit me up on my regular page, Jermeka Monae. I have a music page, Jermeka Monae, as well. YouTube, Jermeka Monae, Instagram, Twitter, Jermeka Monae. Everything is Jermeka Monae on all of those social highways. So holla at me if you need me. I'm always accepting new clients. I'll never not accept them.
Period. Holla at your girl, she say. All right, everybody. So as you guys know, my name is Jason the Architect Tolbert. I have multiple ways to reach out to me. JAY space TOLB is my personal page. You can go to Thick Skin or Jason the Architect Tolbert on Facebook, or you can go to YouTube, Jason the Architect, or you can go to IG. I am there as well. Jason the Architect Tober on IG as well, or thickskin.Jason Tober on IG as well. Or you can give me a phone call or send me a text, 904-701-8774. I would love to chime in, help you any way that I can. And
I call them all the time. Call them.
We're going to get out of here. We'll see you this same place, same time, next Tuesday, 1 o'clock. And before we get out of here, we want to remind everybody that's underneath the sound of our voices that to celebrate yourself, even if it's by yourself,
honey.
See you later.
Bye.